Hello and welcome to Virtuosity. I'm Corey, co-founder of Virtuosity, and I'll be leading you through your introduction to integrity. Imagine standing at the top of an icy hill. You take one small, innocent-looking step forward. You think you're in control, but your foot slips. Suddenly, gravity takes over. You're sliding, faster and faster, no longer in charge of your direction. That's how integrity works. One small slip, rationalized, minimized, can start a chain reaction that's hard to stop. You don't end up at the bottom because of one big decision. You end up there because you didn't stop the slide early. Take Tyler Hamilton, once one of the world's top cyclists and a teammate to Lance Armstrong, during the peak of their dominance in professional cycling. Early in his career, he was faced with a choice: take the so-called red pill, a coded term for doping, or fall behind competitors who were already doing it. He hesitated. He knew it was wrong, but eventually he took that first pill. Just one, just to keep up. His health depended on it. That changed everything. Tyler rationalized it. He wasn't doing it to win, he was doing it to survive. That was the first slip. One pill became a routine. One rationalization turned into a system of secrecy. Eventually, Tyler became part of one of the most sophisticated doping operations in sports history, alongside Armstrong. Years later, he reflected, once you take the red pill, there's no going back. That's the essence of the slippery slope. Integrity isn't lost in a single, obvious decision. It's traded away in a moment that feels justified, until it becomes your new normal. Let's break down what we really mean by integrity. It's not just about telling the truth or following the rules. Integrity is about holding yourself to a high moral standard, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one's watching. It's choosing what's right over what's easy. People with integrity are seen as walking their talk. Their actions line up with their values, their words, and the commitments they make. What you see is what you get. They're not one person in a meeting and another behind closed doors. They also align with the bigger picture, upholding the standards, policies, and expectations of their organization, even when those standards aren't being enforced. According to the Leader Character Framework, integrity is made up of 5 core behaviors. Being authentic, showing up as your real self. Being candid, saying what needs to be said, even when it's hard. Being consistent, following through day in and day out. Being principled, grounding decisions in what's right, not what's popular. And being transparent, not hiding behind spin or silence. Imagine integrity as a skyscraper. When it's well built, it stands tall and dependable, anchored by a solid foundation and engineered to bend, not break, under pressure. It's strong, resilient, and trusted to withstand storms. But when integrity is neglected or misapplied, that same structure can become unstable or even dangerous. When the foundation is too weak, the skyscraper can't hold its shape. It wobbles, it cracks under stress. That's the deficiency side of integrity, where authenticity gives way to fakery, consistency erodes into unpredictability, and transparency slips into manipulation. People stop trusting the structure because it doesn't stand firm, and you lose your ability to build trust with others, because no one knows what you stand for or whether they can rely on you. And sometimes, to strengthen integrity, we need support from other dimensions. It can take humility, a willingness to be vulnerable, to show up as authentic. It can take courage to be candid. It takes a clear sense of purpose to drive consistency. It takes accountability to be principled. And it often takes humanity, a deep sense of care for others, to be transparent. But swing too far in the other direction, and the skyscraper becomes overly rigid, too stiff to sway with the wind. And what doesn't bend breaks. That's integrity in excess, when strength becomes inflexible. Rigidity replaces consistency, belligerence takes the place of candor. This happens when integrity isn't supported by other dimensions of character, like collaboration to welcome diverse perspectives, humanity to deliver hard truths with care, or humility to evolve your values as you grow. Integrity, like a skyscraper, needs both strength and flexibility. It must be rooted in a deep foundation of values, but engineered to move with the world around it. Without that balance, integrity either collapses or collapses others. So now, take a moment to turn inward. What does it feel like when you're living these virtues? When you're being authentic, candid, consistent, principled, and transparent, how do you show up? How do others experience you? And how do you experience yourself? Of course, we all miss the mark sometimes. When you do, which direction do you tend to go? Do you lean toward deficiency, pulling back, avoiding, staying silent? Or do you lean toward excess, pushing too hard, becoming rigid or belligerent? And when that happens, when you slip, what does it actually look like in your behavior? What's the ripple effect on others and on you? Are there certain roles, situations, or stressors that tend to throw you off balance, nudging you toward one extreme or the other? And can you spot the pattern? For me, context is everything. It shapes how I miss the mark. In my professional life, I tend to miss on the side of excess. When I'm deep in my expertise, confident, focused, driving toward a solution, I can become rigid without even realizing it. I stop listening as openly, I grip too tightly to my perspective. It's like tunnel vision sets in, and the edges of the conversation blur. If I'm not intentional, I slip into a siloed mindset, so certain of what I believe is right, that I miss the possibility that something else might be right too. In those moments, I have to consciously activate my transcendence, to step back, zoom out, and consider what else might be possible beyond what I currently see. I rely on my collaboration to open the door to other voices and perspectives, especially when I feel most convinced of my own. Outside of work, the pattern flips. In my personal life, I'm more likely to miss in the other direction, toward deficiency. I bend too easily. I say yes when I mean maybe. I fall into the rhythm of others, even when it quietly costs me something important. Over time, that kind of subtle compromise leaves me feeling a bit muted, like I've drifted from my own center. I've gotten better at recognizing it. I'm learning to name my non-negotiables, the practices and boundaries that keep me healthy, clear, and steady. And I've learned that my sense of accountability is often what helps me return. When I neglect my non-negotiables, I notice I'm not showing up as fully for the people around me either. The key is noticing the patterns, noticing the pressure, and noticing what kind of support you might need to stay in balance, whether that's collaboration, humility, courage, or compassion. Context will always pull at us, but awareness gives us the choice to respond with intention. This isn't about judgment, it's about noticing, because integrity isn't static, it's a living, breathing practice. The more we can recognize where we are on the spectrum, the more skillfully we can return to center. That might mean strengthening an undeveloped part of us, or recognizing when a strength has tipped into excess and needs support from another dimension of character. Integrity isn't built in one bold moment. It's built block by block, in the small, often invisible choices to act in alignment with your values. Every honest conversation, every follow-through, every time you resist the easy out, you're laying another stone in a foundation that can hold real weight. But just as you can build integrity step by step, you can also lose it in the same way. A slow slide, one compromise at a time. That's the slippery slope. And here's the truth. Awareness is essential, but it's not enough. To strengthen integrity, we need more than insight. We need habits. We need a system. That's what Virtuosity is built for. It's a system designed to help you turn character into a daily practice, like going to the gym, but for who you are. You start small, one integrity behavior, one clear focus. Then, Virtuosity guides you through bite-sized lessons and daily challenges to help you build real, lasting strength, one rep at a time. Because integrity isn't forged in high-stakes moments. It's shaped in the quiet ones, the mundane, the boring, the ordinary. And the little things that build it, they seem easy to do, but they're just as easy not to do. That's why we train, because when the pressure comes, or when no one's watching, it won't be your intentions that hold you up. It'll be your habits. So get started today and keep building.